Okay, so I've got the plan set out there, and I'll just quickly show you in the 3D view. I've started to set out the facade with the windows and the parapet, but we need to move on and start looking at the interior, because obviously that's where you're going to be focusing on your design. And so at this stage, if you want to do conceptual layouts and come up with some sort of master plan, there's some really good tools in Revit that you can use, particularly area plans, which you have in the room and area panel on the architecture tab. And so there you can see when you click on the area tool, you get the option to make an area plan, and I'll do that in a moment. And then in the next video, I'll show you how to make a massing model as well, to do like a 3D master plan. But before I even start doing my area plan, I just want to quickly rough out the cores, because I want to show you how you can do an area plan when you have walls that you can go around, and also when you don't. So you can do it either way. And it's a good chance to show you how to make a lift if you haven't used the families that I know you have in the library for those. So, yep. So very quickly, I'm just going to make some walls using the most basic wall type I can. So I might use the existing, so I'll just use generic 200mm, that would be fine. And I'm going to set the level to level 6. Oh no, sorry, to roof I mean. So I have to change the name. I'm going to set that up to the second highest level. And so I know I need 2 exits, and I need a reasonable distance between them, so I'm going to do them maybe here and here as a starting point, just to rough it out, and we'll refine that later. And I'm going to draw with the wall, or the location line set to wall centerline, and I'm just going to draw in between the columns. You need to do some sort of fire rating. Sorry? Sorry? Oh, no, you probably don't need to. If you want to, you can, but you don't need to. So this is just, so I've got something to work around. Now, my core, when it includes the toilets and maybe any amenities rooms or cleaning rooms or other things you might include, is probably going to be bigger. But I'm just going to, for now, try and get enough room at least for a lift shaft, and then, well, even there, I can see straight away maybe I need to make that one bay bigger. Let's move that over. So get rid of this one and put in a couple more walls. And then just going to get all those and mirror them. Okay, terrible layout, I know, but it's just so I've got something to work with, and I'll definitely refine this. And again, as I change it, I want to show you how the area plan can be updated as well. So I've got enough to work with, and now I'm going to make an area plan. So clicking on that area button, then the only option you have is to choose area plan. And then you can see I must have a ground floor area plan already, because it isn't coming up in my list. If that happens and you still want to make an area plan for that level, you can simply turn off the option at the bottom, and that's going to show all the levels in your project. So I can choose ground floor now, click OK, and it's made a new area plan for me. So you'll see them if you scroll down in your project browser. If you haven't made them before, it'll make a new category for your area plans. Now, I had another one, like I was saying. I'm just going to right click on that and delete. I've just got one now. And the only difference you'll see there at first is that it's sometimes going to give you these, what are they, purple, magenta lines. And that can be useful when it makes them in a good way. Definitely it's going to save you time. But I don't want them. I want to show you how to make them from scratch. So I'm just going to select all of that with a window, and then go to Filter, check None, and then I can just tick Area Boundaries, and also Areas. So I'm going to delete both of those things to do with areas, and I'll make them from scratch. So I've selected all of those area objects, and now I'm just going to press delete on the keyboard, or actually hit the cross up here, do the same thing. And if you get a warning like this, that's fine, you can just ignore it. So I've got, again, the cores there, but really not much else to give me an idea of the layout. And I'm going to work that out as I work with the cores to do my boundaries. And so you see in the area, also the room and area panel, once you've made an area plan, then you'll get the option to make an area boundary. And area boundaries give you basically the same options you have when you're making most things in Revit, all these different options to draw different shapes. But when you use this option, pick lines, it works even better than it does with a lot of the other tools. So I'm just going to pick this wall, and you can see it's actually gone into the center of the wall. That's a good thing. If you don't need to be that precise with your areas, just let it do what it wants to do. If you need to go on the exact edge of the wall, you can turn this option off, apply area rules, and it will follow the edge that you choose. But if you let it use the area rules, I'll just show you what it'll do here. If I choose this wall now, notice how it's joined it automatically for me. And so here, I'm just going to choose all these walls, and I don't really have to check like you do when you're making solids and other things like that. It will join. You can see there it's crossing over, and you might think that's not going to work because it wouldn't with an extrusion or anything like that, but it will with areas. And for some reason it's moved the wall. Again, it's all to do with the rules. So not move the wall, move the boundary now onto the inside edge. Again, that's okay because I'm not really worried about the exact areas as long as I've got a rough idea. So now I'm just going to pick these walls. So I'm going to pick those, but then you can see it's got a gap between the columns. So we might have to come back and look at that in a minute. I'm just going to pick these walls though. And again, you can see it's for some reason flipped it. Again, I'm not worried about that. That wall's in the wrong spot. It's okay. I'll just pick it anyway. Right, so then I need to draw some boundaries where I don't have walls. And for that, you can just draw lines. And so we might say, well, we need to have a restaurant and an entry, and I think I'm going to go, was it one of you had the idea that you could just have the cars come in here?
Oh, in the basement?
Yep. So I might just go with that for now and see if I can plan that out. So if I can just allow for a, in fact, I'm going to try and have it one way, so I can just have it maybe going down there for now. So I'll draw a line from the intersection there of the grid and the wall. I'm just going to bring it up to this point here and then stop, because I've got a boundary there already. I'll skip it and then go on to the next column and then up to the wall. So at this point I can make my first area. So I've got an enclosed area. Even though the lines aren't connecting, it should be okay with that. So again, in the area panel, once you've made your area plan and then your area boundaries, go back to the area panel there, and then you can make an area. Just click on area, and you can see there it's working. If it lets you place that cross inside an area that's got a boundary around it, then it's working. You can see it won't let me place it out here. It's just giving that symbol saying it's area not enclosed. But in here, it is working. And you can actually see the square meters. So I'm just going to click to place that. I'm going to change my cores, but I'll just place one there for now anyway. And I'll put another one in the other core. And then I can come back and start to break this up a bit more. So the planning might change completely. It's just to give you a rough idea. So I'll go back to area boundary, and then go and draw another line, maybe just following along this grid line. So maybe this will be restaurant, and then we'll have the foyer on the other side. I don't know, that's a terrible layout, so I'll definitely play around with this. And then you might have some retail, so maybe that, just to do it very quickly, can take up, well, in fact, it might wrap all the way around, so let's just say all the way around to here. And to here. And then I'll maybe just leave this area as amenities. Yeah, so now I can just go back and make some more areas. Right, notice how rough I was when I was drawing it. I've got all these gaps, but as long as they're fairly close to each other, it'll still work. So if I go and place some more areas, I can see, yep, that one's okay. So is this one, that's going to be my big retail area, and this one's fine as well. Oh yeah, so I've got then the restaurant and the foyer. So I've got the whole floor covered with areas now, but apart from the fact that it's telling me the square meters of each of those areas, it's probably not that useful yet. Right, so but then there's this really useful option you have with Revit, and you're working with area plans. Got these things called colour fill legends, and yep. So there are lots of these automatic tools for generating schedules and legends and things like that in Revit. So it's on Annotate tab, and you'll see the panel at the end, Colour Fill, and you can just click on that button at the bottom, Colour Fill Legend. And then I'm just going to click over to the side of the plan to place it, and then just click OK to accept the defaults. So you can see straight away it's assigned a colour automatically. It's, if you want to, it's a random colour. But then I can select my legend. The legend just has the one colour swatch. But when I select that, you can see how that can then go to Edit Scheme. And I'm going to change the colour option there to Name. And it's going to tell me the colours will change. That's fine. That's what I want. But we still only have one name. So if I click OK, now I can go and select each area, just the tag or the text, and start to give them names. So this is going to be amenities. And then, so now because it's got its own name, it's got its own colour. This will be retail. This is going to be my core, so I'll just call it that. And then now I'm going to call the other core the same thing. Notice how it gets the same colour if you use the same name. Then I've got the thoroughfare. What was the proper name of the French? Porksure. Something like that? That's not right, the spelling. E-T-R-E, is that? Yeah. Or maybe U-R-E, I think there was a U in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's something I'm going to ask Mr. Google. Oh no, C-O-C-H-E-R-E, yep. Nope. So, oh yep, so I've just got then the restaurant. Probably got those the wrong way around, but that's the point of all of this, to work out their best planning before you get into any detail. And God, my spelling's terrible. T-H-O-U-R-U-G-H-F-A-R-E. Have I got too many U's in there?
No, that's right. I don't know. I think the first thing oh no, that's right.
That doesn't look right to me.
No,
T-H-O-U-G-H, isn't it?
So no, you first U, T-H-O.
It is T-H-O? Yeah, right. Oops. wouldn't believe I'm writing essays every day, but spell check is your crutch, I suppose. So have I done them all? Yep. Okay, so you can see now automatically legend done. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It does random colours for you from Pantone colours. So you can change them if you want. You can just click on the colour swatch, make it whatever you want. You've got the full Pantone colour list in there. Yep. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Yep. So, so it's that easy, and you can do those for each level. So, yeah, yeah. Well, that's what you're doing when you're using it. Like with AutoCAD, I honestly do not think at all about what I'm doing. My brain just goes on autopilot, and it's because I was chained to a computer for 15 years, using it 9 to 10 days, not 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. Yep. Well, you can do it at home. I mean, you can have your computer in the lounge room, and I do that too. Yep. So, oh yeah, so the final thing I was going to show you there is that now if I decide that I want to make some changes, and of course I do, say if I move the wall here, I'll bring that across. So remember, I made the wall by picking the, so I made the boundary by picking the wall. So if I move that wall, the boundary goes with it. And if you're wondering how I'm moving it, I'm just using the arrow key on the keyboard to nudge that to the right. And what do the areas do? Of course, they update automatically. And so I can do the same with the boundary. If I select that, I can move it, and again, you can see the areas change. So it's that easy. And it's not going to mess up your original floor plans. You can see there's nothing extra there. So you've got that separate area plan always there. Just makes it easier to manage. And they can work on their own as a graphical thing. So if you tidy that view up, I'm just going to hide a few things. Area space? You mean floor space? Or yeah. Oh, that's such a hard. If you have to do it manually, do you know how to do it manually? Oh yes, I won't. So, yeah, but what if it's not a regular shape? What if it's not a rectangle? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you don't realise when the computers do it for you how much work it is, but yeah. I mean, look, there are formulas for doing virtually every shape you can think of, but usually what you do is just break it up into triangles. So if you ever have to do it manually, that's what you've got to do. So, but this option really will open up a lot of options for you, because until you see this, it might be difficult to work out areas. There are lots of ways of working out areas in Revit, but a lot of them aren't obvious, and it often relies on you having a lot of things modelled as well. So this doesn't rely on any of those things, and unlike AutoCAD, where you can just draw a polyline and get an area from it, well, there is a trick like that you have in Revit as well, which in AutoCAD you just draw a polyline. Yep, yep. But you don't want to be drawing in Revit. You can draw regions, and that will give you an area too. But you don't want to be drawing regions all over your plans just to get areas. So this makes it a lot easier. And so again, don't forget you can do them for each level, and you can always copy the boundaries across levels as well. Might make it easier. So probably not much more I need to show you about area plans. That one you can see has been tidied up a little bit. Maybe even the grid lines could be hidden. Yeah, I'd be doing that. Definitely the section line can go. Yeah, so that's almost useful as it is, but I I'd take that into Photoshop or InDesign or probably Illustrator to really tidy it up. Yeah, that's right. And it's doing a lot of the work for me. It's doing even I don't mind the colour fills. But I can just fine-tune the graphics, I know, in Illustrator or another Adobe program. Yeah, I just like to soften it a bit, yeah, and maybe get some different text or other things like that, or clean up. Just not really, but sorry? Oh, of course, yeah. You can just go to annotate and add whatever text you want, no problem. Yeah. Yeah, you can hide them. So here, if you don't want to see them, you can just hide them, and yeah, yep. So that's good. Yeah, yeah. So I'll definitely do that. And yeah, so look, they can work like that, but you can always adjust them in Photoshop or something as well.